good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, Lauren. How are you? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tattoo Tuesday. I don't know why I did that, but you know what? I did it. There you go. And I'm sticking to it. I don't know. It's just one of those days. And if you're sitting there and you're asking yourself, is Lonni wearing suspenders? Yes. Watch. I'm wearing suspenders. So it's going to be one of those days. It's going to be a suspender wearing Tuesday. And I'm super excited. I'm super excited to be here with you. We're going to have a great hour. We're going to hang out. We're going to talk about tattoos. We're going to talk about some comments that I've gotten. We're going to talk about just stuff. And we are going to have tattoo court. And this is just an idea that I came up with. And we're not going to do it right away because I want to wait for everybody to get here. But tattoo court, I saw this episode. We are going to tattoo court. Courtney, we need to come up with a theme. Hello, Terry. I'm all over the place right now. Courtney, you're not the only one swinging from the chandeliers. But I saw this thing on tribunal justice, and we're going to talk about that episode. I'm going to show you the people who were in it. I'm going to explain it, and then we are going to judge it ourselves. We are going to be the judges of this, and this might be something that we do more often. And court is in session. But it's not in session yet. We have other things we want to talk about, like my suspenders. I don't know. I'm going to be doing this all day long. But I just want everybody to take a moment and acknowledge that Courtney is back. Courtney's back in town. It's going to be one of those hours, people. What can I say? It is just going to be one of those hours. So I picked my outfit very carefully today. And this outfit that I'm wearing is going to be one of multitude of outfits today because I'm actually going out and I am recording a campaign for Doc Martens. I'm so excited. This is my second campaign that I will have done for them. And it seems to me like they always wait until the middle of summer before they ask me to do this. So I'm like, could you pick it any hotter for me to put those Doc Martens on? But I do want to show you my outfit because, like I said, this is just one of multiple outfits I'm going to be doing for them on this campaign. And so I want to show you the one I'm wearing. But Terry says, shave the back and one side. I want to pull the trigger and do the whole head, but nervous. Okay, Terry, I'll tell you what we're going to do. If you want, I'll shave my head live tomorrow. Not shave it, but I'll buzz my hair with you tomorrow. Because I buzz my hair a lot on the lives. And if you want, I'll do it. And here's the thing, Terry, and I'm not going to steer you wrong. I 100% would not tell you this unless it was absolutely coming from my heart. But if you're that close and that's something you want to do, I am going to tell you right now, it's just a matter of time. You're going to do it. And I've never met anybody who's done it who's regretted it. That's just the thing. And I see all the time, like sometimes, like if you Google it here, what sells is negativity. What sells is like, oh, I buzzed my hair and I don't like it. Everybody's going to be like, I'm going to watch that video because I want to see that person suffer with that horrible haircut. And what you don't see are these multitude of women out there who have done it. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's the most liberating, freeing hairstyle I've ever had. And I'm telling you, from the bottom of my heart, you won't regret it. If it's something you really want to do, it's more than a hairstyle. It is an expression. It is a way of life. It is just so incredibly freeing. And here's another thing. It's like Lauren says, I don't regret shaving the sides of my head. Nope. And this has given me the opportunity, doing this thing for Doc Martin has given me an opportunity to look back at where I was last year because you just realized that there's no suspenders emoji. That's okay, because every time I want to make a point, I'm going to be like, there you go. There's the point. And yes, that hurt. I might not do it so dramatically next time. But this gave me the opportunity to look back like where I was in my life last year at this time. And while I absolutely embraced my my fashion and my Doc Martens last year, 100% I did. But I was looking at the video I did. I looked back at the campaign that I did for them, and I realized that it was, how can I put this in a way that is going to make sense? I looked at it and it was me, but it wasn't really me. I remember filming it, and in the back of my mind, I was like, you know, I just didn't feel vibrant. I didn't feel powerful. I didn't feel, I didn't feel fierce. My haircut was holding me back. It was a cute style, but it was not my style. And my haircut was holding me back. That's the first time I visualized it and I verbalized it like that. And it was. I had self-doubts over my appearance because I didn't like my hair and I didn't like how I looked. And I felt like a poser. I felt like I was like pretending to be cool. And going into this campaign, I had my outfits all laid out and I'm like, I like that. This is me. I'm going into this campaign with confidence. I'm going into this campaign with and it's my hair. Oh my gosh. I cannot explain it enough. So Terry, please, I wish I was there with you and I would buzz your hair for you. But if you want to get your clipper ready, follow along with me tomorrow and I will buzz my hair with you tomorrow. Absolutely 100% will do. So I do want to show you my outfit because like I said, this is just one of many that I'm going to be doing. But I have my suspenders and I have it with my little just white tank top from Free People. And I put it with these Banana Republic pants that I thrifted. And then I have my Doc Martens. Look. I think it's a really cute outfit and it 100% is my style and I'm really super comfortable in it. And so I'm excited and I mean, I'll tell you when it comes out, but yeah. Indy just made a weird noise, but yeah. So I'm super excited. Eureka Lundstrom says, I feel so wrong with normal hair. I am 47 next month and has been the weirdo my whole life. I've been under side cuts and blue dreads for a few years now. Okay, so Sandy says, yes, cute outfit. Thank you. So now here's the thing. It's, you love that style. You know what? Okay, so I was channeling my grandfather. This outfit is inspired by my grandfather. I only knew one grandfather. My grandpa on my dad's side passed away before I was born, I think. But this is what my grandfather used to wear. He used to wear these white tank tops with suspenders and these kind of like pants. So I'm definitely channeling Grandpa. So Louise says, love your style. Thank you so much. And I think we need to channel our grandfathers more often. And Eureka, if I am pronouncing your name wrong, I apologize right now. But I do want to state right here, you said I'm 47 next month and has been the weirdo my whole life. Here's the thing. It's that I used to call myself and I used to think about myself in the same way. I used to be like, I don't fit in. I'm the weirdo. I'm this. I'm the weirdo. And you know what? We're not weird. We are blessed with individuality. We are so blessed with being able to be ourselves that we don't fit in. And if society wants to call us weird, have at it. But I would rather be myself and dress like my grandfather than to blend in with the masses. It's not going to happen. I mean, I always look at it like a herd of cattle or a herd of sheep, and they're all just they all look the same, and they're all they're all grazing, and they're like, bah. That's not life. To me, life is being that one little sheep that's like, yeah, you know what? I might be a different color, but I'm gonna go graze over there where the grass is nice and green, and you all can just clump here together. To me, that's life. To me, that's being vibrant. To me, that's living. Living is not blending in. And I am not going to blend in. Period. End of story. The funny thing is that people always say my style makes them happy. Yes. And I guarantee you it does, because you're a breath of fresh air. And you know what? And here's the thing is that people are going to look at it in two different ways. They're either going to acknowledge your individuality and be like, your style makes me happy. And those are good people. Those are people who are happy with themselves. Or people are going to be like, oh my God, you're dressing too young. You shouldn't wear that. You shouldn't have tattoos. And it's those people who are so miserable with their own existence that any sort of happiness on your own irritates them to no end. Lauren says, always be the shepherd, never be the sheep, I say. Absolutely agree. Linda says, I am the family oddity. I am good with that. Absolutely. And again, I think it's really easy for us to be like, you know what, I stand out, I'm weird in this. But I just want to make sure that we don't do this with any negative context. I want to make sure that Kathy says, good morning, Lonni, be a ray of sunshine. You know what? You know I am. But I want to make sure that when we call ourselves the oddity, or when we tell us, when we say we don't fit in, that's perfectly fine so long as you're doing it in a positive way. All right. I don't ever want you to think of yourself as being an oddity or not fitting in or anything like that in a negative context. So to me, I can be like, yeah, you know what? I've always been the weirdo, but I thrive in that. To me, being the weirdo is a badge of honor. And so long as you look at it that way, I highly encourage it, but never look at yourself for not fitting in a negative way at all. Don't do that. That is not good. So, all right. So Courtney, I want to let you know, I knew you were going to get that reference because Courtney and I were texting each other before the live. Now I'm going to say the phrase that I gave Courtney, and I want to see how many of you know what movie this is from. But what I told her was swing away, Meryl. So swing away, Meryl. And I say this to myself all the time. And it's kind of like my little mantra of like, just sometimes I'll be like, yeah, you know what? Swing away, Lonni. And it's just reminding myself that I have to go for what makes me happy. And I get all my quotes from movies, and another one of my quotes that I really like is from Jurassic Park. Can you tell I watch a lot of scary movies? Dan got it. Okay, well, thank you for being honest, and tell Dan he is my kindred soul. But from Jurassic Park, it's when the scientist was talking about, bringing back dinosaurs. And he said, to a mouse, a cat is a monster. And I always keep that in the back of my mind because it's all about perspective. It's all about how we look at things. Because we can have a bad day. You know what? We can have a day where things just don't go right. And we can be like, oh my gosh, this was the worst day ever. And there's people out there that have a lot worse days. There are people out there that have a lot more going on than we do. So I always try to remind myself to keep life in perspective. And so to me, I got that from Jurassic Park. Okay, nobody is chiming in on where that saying is from, but I'll tell you because I'm after I tell you this last one. And then the next phrase saying that I always tell myself is from the movie World War Z, which is the zombie movie with Brad Pitt. Yes, again, those are the only movies I watch. I don't watch rom-coms. I watch scary movies. But it's when Brad Pitt was in the apartment with the family and he's trying to convince them to come with him. And he was telling them that movement is life. You have to you can't stay here. You have to move. Movement is life. And to me, it is like so real, and it is such a truthful statement that you have to keep moving. You can't just be like, here's the version of me that I'm going to be for the rest of my life, because you will fade. You have to constantly redevelop yourself. So if you're in a spot where you're not happy, then just know that life is all about movement, and it is okay to change the version of you that you want to be. And shave your head, Terry. And remember, life is movement, because if you don't like it, you can always let it grow back. So so where I got that saying, swing away, Meryl, it's from the movie Signs with Mel Gibson, which I think is actually probably one of the scariest movies I've seen. And it's not like a big monster movie, but it is definitely suspenseful. So if you're there and you find yourself, you just need to have that little pep talk, just be like, swing away, Meryl, swing away. And it's a really cool, it's not a really cool part of the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, I don't want to give you too much away, but it's just about the main character's wife giving a message to his brother just to go for it, just to swing away. Don't hold back. Swing your bat. So swing away. Don't hold back. Period. End of story. All right. So it is 9:17, and we're gonna go to court. But first, I want to read off. It says, Lonni, real quick, have you seen Old yet? But no, I haven't. Courtney, is it on? No, I haven't. Is it on like Netflix or anything like that? Lauren says, I literally bought a gel polish kit today on Amazon Prime for being a professional beauty therapist. But the only thing I loved about it was the nails. Oh, really? Okay. I literally bought a gel polish kit today on Amazon Prime as being a professional beauty therapist. Oh, that's cool. You know what? I haven't done my nails in like a month, so I'm excited to do my nails again. Awesome. And you should. You know what? I held back from doing my nails for a really long time. And it's one of those just little kind of, I forgot I lost one of my earrings. I need to put an earring in. Don't let me forget to put an earring in. But it is just one of those things that it's like a little treat to myself. And whether or not you do nails or like Lauren, you bought a kit, just make sure that whatever it is, whatever form, whatever fashion, whatever version of you that you see on the inside, make sure you let that person out to the outside. And I think that that's where real confidence and real happiness comes in, is when that inside person is your outside person. And I got to tell you, it's taken me almost 59 years to find that person and to let her out. And she's going to be changing. You know what? I can't imagine ever having hair, but there will be times where I do different, I might do a different outfit or a different makeup or different nails, but definitely I am always changing. Courtney says it's on Max and Hulu and others. It's great. I'm not a huge Shyamalan fan, and it really enjoyed this one. Okay. I do like his movies, and I do have Max. So it's called Old, and I'll watch that. Okay. So I have been putting out a lot of content lately with tattoos, and I have been getting a lot of messages. Some of them good, some of them not so good. But one of the good messages that I got, oh, Lauren says, "Oh my God, you should try wigs out. That would be interesting." You know, I actually bought a blonde wig, and I cannot do blonde. During Halloween, I found it at CVS. So that's going to tell you the quality of the wig. And I put it on, and it was the weirdest thing. But that's definitely something that's not outside of my thought of doing it. Kathy says, "Don't forget to put an earring on." Thank you, Kathy. You know what? I am not going to forget it now. So one of the things that a message that I got that I want to read to you is, it says, and I got this one off of Instagram. It says, "I don't understand why people look at me like I'm crazy just because I have tattoos and I wear fun colored eyeshadow. P.S. I just turned 53 and I'm still into metal." You know, that's kind of like what we were talking about a little bit earlier. It's just that people don't understand individuality. And sometimes you either get it or you don't get it. And the people who are absolutely comfortable in their individuality, who absolutely let that inside person out to show, they get it. But it's the people who are still in the sheep little, I know Kathy was like, she was on it, but it's the people who are still milling around in the little sheep herd, and you're over there grazing. They don't get it. And sometimes we let the simple fact that they don't get it stop us. And that's where we let these opinions come in. And that's where we let these looks come in. And that's not what we should do. We should take these opinions and we should take these looks and we should be like, yes, I am living my own life because I can tell that because it's upsetting that person. So to me, a lot of times, like if somebody says something rude, I'll just be like, well, my job is done for the day because I just made that person incredibly uncomfortable with their own individuality. And I always look at people like this. And you know me, I always have a visual representation of what I'm trying to say. It's so weird. People ask me, like, how do you come up with these things? How do you come up with what you say? And my answer to that is I just explain the things that I see in my head. So it's not that I'm very articulate and it's not like I come up with these things randomly. I just, in my head, I see pictures and I explain them. And that's really how I communicate. And what I see when I think of people who lash out or be like, "Oh my gosh, you're too old for this," or "You shouldn't wear that." It's like taking a dog and that's been caged its whole life. And and it makes me sad. And this is a reference that I use, but it makes me sad. But let's just imagine a dog that's been in a kennel its whole life. Okay. And you open the door and the dog is like, I'm just going to stay in the kennel. And then here's me. I'm another dog in another kennel. And they open the door and I'm like, yes, I'm going to go out. I'm going to play in the yard. I'm going to run on the field. I'm going to get toys. I'm going to live my best dog life ever. I'm going to just be the happiest dog. I'm going to wag my tail. And the other dog who is still sitting in the kennel next to me, instead of leaving its kennel and going out and playing and having fun and wagging its tail, it's sitting there and it's giving me dirty looks. And it's like, "You should get back in your kennel. Why are you having fun? You shouldn't be doing this." And that's exactly what people do. That's exactly what people do when they see you living your best life and they're not living theirs. So if you run across anybody who's putting you down for your self-expression, just look at them and be like, "Get out of the kennel, dude." They're not going to understand what you're saying, but you don't have to actually say it, but it's the truth. They need to get out of their own box. They need to find their own happiness and leave you alone. And instead, they just want to make you feel bad for you making the choice of living your true life. And it's having that understanding and it's having that knowledge. Now the responsibility is on you, okay? It's really easy for us to be like, I can't do it because you know what? People are going to say something. You can only use that excuse for so long. I am sorry. Now we're going to have a little bit of tough love time. You, if you let people stop you, if you let people make you feel bad, if you let people put you back in the kennel, the only person that's responsible for that is you. And it is up to you to realize it and to see what's happening and to not do it. So make sure that you don't let that negativity attach to you, or you don't let that negativity stop you in any ways from finding your version of happiness. And I guarantee you it is going to be much easier looking at it that way if you can see a physical representation of what people are trying to do. So, yep, it's going to be one of those days. Lonnie's going to be ranting and raving all day long. Because you know why? We are going to court, people. And I'm thinking we really do need a theme song. But I don't want to, I don't know. I always hear like music, but we don't have music. So we're going to be like, we are going to tattoo court. We are going to tattoo court, where people get tattoos and then they're not happy. There you go. I just made that up. And yes, it is. We are going to tattoo court. This is what we're doing. All right. I was watching TV the other day because I always, sometimes I'll just take my laptop and I will work on my big fluffy chair in the front room. And I like to have noise in the background. For some reason, noise in the background really helps me. And I was watching the Tribunal Justice. And if you don't know what that is, that's a show. Judge Judy made this show. And she has 3 judges, one of them being her son. And if you watch Judge Judy like I do, I love her. The only thing I don't really care for her about is that she's not a fan of pit bulls. And, oh, hold on. Oh, come on. Come on. No, not on the carpet. Not on the carpet. Oh. No, it's okay. Hold on. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Real life is happening. Indy's throwing up, so hold on. It's okay. It's okay. I know. It's okay. Sorry about that. Hang on. Are you okay? Huh? You okay? You're just bound and determined to throw up on my carpet. Hold on. Sorry. You okay? Well, you're wagging your tail. All right. Okay, yes. Can you tell it's a live show? If you don't feel good, let me know. You okay? All right. It's been really hot. So Indy is barfing and we're just going to be fine until she gets back. Yes. Oh no, make sure that she's okay, which is the main thing. Don't worry about us. Yes. She's, I just want to make sure she has water. I'll be right back. Come on, let's get you some fresh water. Come on. Let's get you some fresh water. Come here. Courtney, thank you so much. But I do, this is, again, I channeled my grandfather. You okay? All right. You just sit right there. Indy, man, she eats, I know, she eats, the thing is that Indy eats everything. It's, I can't find her a toy that she won't eat. And thankfully, she's been very good that she like throws it up, but I don't know what this one was all about. So anyway, back to tattoo court. We are going back to tattoo court. So it's the tribunal justice. And I was watching it, and the story is about a lady who goes to court because she wants to sue her tattoo artist because she does not like her tattoo. And it got me to thinking, and I'm like, at what point in a tattoo process is it the tattooist's responsibility? Have you tried antler horns? They're really good to chew on. I haven't because they seem so hard, but I'm going to have to find her something. So at what point is it the tattooer's responsibility to be like, this isn't a good idea? So we are going to look at both sides of the perspective. We're going to look at it from like, you're the person sitting in the chair getting a tattoo, or we were going to be for like, if we're the tattooer. So Courtney says, good call, Lauren, frozen pumpkin or a yam. I haven't tried that. I've tried a frozen carrot and she just ate it right away. So we are going to tattoo court. Ginger candy called Gin Gins are great for poor tummies. Well, I'm thinking she has some plastic in her stomach that needs to come up, and I'm going to have to take away her toy because I just found one that's halfway gone. Okay, so let's take a look. We are going to meet the participants in our, goodness gracious. We got people doing something everywhere. Okay, so let's take a look. First, we have the plaintiff. This is the lady who got the tattoo, who's doing the suing, all right? It is this lady right here, all right? So she goes, and the whole reason she goes to the tattooer is because she wants to get a cover-up. All right. So she finds this lady like online, and she contacts her for a cover up. Now let's meet the tattooer. Okay. We'll come back and forth. So we're going to go back. And again, I worked all weekend so that we would have good graphics and we could look at things like this. All right. Now I just took screenshot of these. So she actually she had a much nicer demeanor than what I'm showing her. But this is the tattooer, okay? So she's the one that gave the lady the tattoo. Now, let's see what she got. And part of the thing that was really so interesting about this case, that was to me, is that the design that the lady picked was... I just don't know. The design was weird. Let's just put it that way. Because what she had, this is what she had. Okay. So she had this right here is what was on her arm. It was just an outline. It was not a complete tattoo. So it was like a lady, and it looks almost like maybe like part of a butterfly maybe. But I don't know. It was a pretty good sized tattoo on her arm. It went from her shoulder all the way down to her elbow. So the design that she wants to get, and here's where I start to get a little suspicious. Like, this isn't whose responsibility is this? But what she wanted was half a lion, a warrior princess on the other side with a crown and flowers. Let me repeat that. She wanted a lion on one side, a person's face on the other with a crown and flowers. Lauren says, they are really good. Okay. Did she not see the stencil before being put on her arm? She picked the stencil. Okay. This lady came to the tattoo artist with the design. And let me show you what it is, because it to me is just crazy. So what she ended up getting is hold on, is this. This is what she ended up getting. Okay? It was her idea. The lady who got the tattoo came to the tattoo artist and said, "This is what I want. I want a half of a lion on this face, on this side. I want this to be a human, but I want it to be like a warrior princess who's smiling with a crown and a flower." And it's a terrible tattoo. I mean, there's nothing redeeming about that tattoo. And she's suing the tattoo artist because of the horrible tattoo. Now, it started going back to like, well, you know, she should have said this and she should have said that. And here's where we're going to, I'm confused. The hair is not, the entire tattoo is horrible. And here's where we're going to go to court. All right. Here's where we're going to really discuss this, and we're going to figure out who ultimately is responsible, because the lady came with this horrendous idea. I mean, I don't care what you think. I don't like that. I mean, you tattoo whatever you want to on your body, and that's apparently what she wanted, and she should have been okay with it because that's what she wanted. But the tattoo artist who was doing the cover up, where I think the first mistake is that she was not a cover up specialist. All right. Because when the judges were asking her, she's like, "Yeah, I have done cover ups. They're not really like my forte." And I'm like, ding, 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 ding. Clue number one. If you want to get a cover up, make sure you get a cover up specialist. This isn't a regular tattoo. It's a cover up, because there was already ink in her skin, and then they added more ink. And every time they added more ink and every time they added more design, it got darker and darker and darker. And now this lady is walking around with this tattoo on her shoulder, and she cannot stand it. And for good reason. It's not a good tattoo. But whose responsibility is it? Is it the lady's responsibility for being like, when she's looking at the stencil, be like, "This isn't any good"? Is it the tattoo artist's responsibility to be like, "No, this is not a good idea," but do it anyway, and then have that lady walk around with that tattoo? Terry says, "Thanks. Just made an appointment for my hairdresser to finish it off. You are so inspiring. I will be 50 in December." Awesome. So Terry, I need to know when your appointment is, because I'm going to, I want to follow up on, after you get it done, what you think about it. But whose responsibility is it? I mean, I go back and I look at my own experience with my own tattoos, and you know, part of the responsibility lies, I mean, I can see where the responsibility relies on me to be like, to show up with a design, with an idea that's a decent designer idea. But it was also my tattoo artist's responsibility to be like, "That's not going to work, Lonni. That's not really all that great." And then it's like, did the tattoo artist just be like, "Well, you know what? It's yours and it's going to be on your skin, and I'm just going to do it and then get the money for it"? To me, there's just so many different variations for this. Now, one thing, there is no way that an artist had anything good in her portfolio. I would say bad research. Absolutely, Eureka. I 100% agree. And to me, it was, I think, a good artist. One way that you can tell a good artist is by the way that they communicate with you on your designing of the tattoo. Okay. Now, if you walk into a tattoo artist and you're like, "Here's my design. This is what I want," and if they just look at it and be like, "That's exactly what I'm going to give you," I think that that's a warning sign, because you want them to be like, well, where do you want to put this again? Okay, well, what if we do this? What if we do that? Because they need to adapt the design that you have in your mind for where you want to put it on your body. I mean, I think that I'm sure that some artist out there somewhere could make that concept into a really cool tattoo. I just don't think that there was enough space on her arm to execute it. So I put the responsibility of the bad execution on the tattooist, because I think that she had a responsibility to disagree with the client. I think that it was her responsibility as an artist to be like, that's not such a good idea. So I clearly put the responsibility of that on her. But I also put the responsibility on the lady, because it's like the design was, it was not a good design, and it was her design. And what happened is like, after the judges were talking to her, it came to light that she actually left the shop, tipped the tattoo artist, and was perfectly fine with the tattoo until a later date. And after a later date, apparently people were like, "Oh my gosh, what's up with your tattoo?" That she started not liking it. So it's unfair at that point to blame the artist, because apparently the artist gave her something that she wanted. And so it's just, again, it's like there's just so many different variations. But as the ruling judge in this case, I am going to put the responsibility of this one on the lady, and not just, and again, since I'm the judge, I can do this. And they ruled the same way, but it was really, truthfully, we can only blame an artist so much, but we have a voice and we have to say what we want. And if what we want isn't great, we have to take responsibility for that. Because remember the other day when I was talking about that YouTube I saw, where how to tell a classy lady, that actually ended up being kind of a cool list. Accountability was one of them. And I think that if we go into a tattoo shop and we ask for something and we get it and we don't like it, we have to be accountable for that. We live in a society these days where we have a tendency to like to blame other people for our own actions. And I think at the end of the day, she needed to be responsible for her decision of wanting that really bad design. Because one of the judges made a really interesting comment, is that she said she called the lady a poser, point blank. She's like, your tattoos are basically, she said that she got the tattoos to be cool. And I was like, dang, that's a harsh statement. I mean, if somebody said that to me, I would be pissed. But then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, but I'm not a poser. You know what? My stories my tattoos have a story. They're there for me. They're integrated in with me, and I don't feel like a poser. But the judge called her one, because she's like, you had a perfectly good design on your arm and you didn't finish it because you wanted something else. She's like, you're tattoos aren't interchangeable. You need to pick one you like and stick with it, and then don't blame the other person. And I was like, good point. And so, again, I think it goes back to the responsibility of the lady who got the tattoo, that in knowing that your tattoo journey, you, if you go into it with that kind of like, well, tattoos are cool, so I want one because I think they're cool, because I want to be cool, then you're going to get tattoos you don't like. Then you're going to get tattoos that you're going to put on your arm and you're going to be like, oh, wow, no, that wasn't a good idea. Now I want something else. So going into it, again, I think all the fingers are unfortunately pointing towards the lady who got the tattoo, because she's just constantly like searching for an identity, and she's doing it with tattoos. And I'm not saying anything about that, but if you do end up search for your identity with a tattoo, just know that they're not interchangeable. I mean, you can do cover-ups, but they're not easy, because let me show you what it ended up looking like. So we have do, and then I want to do, and then I'm going to do this. So many buttons to push. And then we're doing that. And this is the one I wanted to show you. Okay, it's a little blurry, but because it was really magnified. But this right here, this is a cover-up, all right? These lines right here, you don't put yellow ink over a black line and not expect it to show. And this 100% was on the artist. But the artist's defense was she stopped coming back and I was going to put more color into it. I personally don't think you could put enough yellow into this tattoo to ever cover that line. And then you can see all these other lines through her flower. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this was giving me anxiety. This was giving me like every scenario of what not supposed to happen in a tattoo was happening. And like I said, I was getting anxiety. I'm like, this is why I don't go to people I don't know. I mean, just like, all right, we're going back to this lion tattoo because I want to show you something, because I want to tell you what I think it looks like here. So going back to, this is as good of a picture as I could get. But this right here, it looks like a sack. Let's just put it that way. I have to be really careful about my language here, but it looks like a sack, and you know which one I'm talking about. And then it's like this eye's here, and I guess what really bothers me about this one is that even the application of the terrible stencil isn't good. So and even with that, I am going to put the responsibility on the lady. The lady 100% should have been, she should have just seen the stencil and she shouldn't have gotten it. Yeah, Lauren says it looks like a kid drew it. Yeah, but she saw the stencil. She's the one that came up with the design. She sent it to the artist, and it makes me just want to be like where I do like a tattoo workshop where people are like, here's the design I'm thinking about getting. And then I'm like, all right, let's just sit down and talk about this, Mary. Do you really think this is the tattoo you want? Do you really think that this is a good idea? I mean, do you like how one mouth doesn't go with the other? Or do you like how one eye's up here and one eye's down there? Mary, do you really like this? Not that her name was Mary, but it was something where sometimes I don't think that people have enough of a community around them that actually tell the truth. Because if she showed that to a friend and a friend was like, yeah, Mary, you go get that. That's a good tattoo. She needs a new friend. So if you're out there and you're doing a wonky design and you want a truthful opinion, I will 100% always give you that truthful opinion. Kathy says it's a hot mess. Oh yeah, no, one of the judges was like, that's the worst tattoo I've ever seen. And you're stuck with that for the rest of your life. And it is so big. even if she's like going to do a tattoo removal, it's it's just going to be a bigger, hotter mess. Now, my advice to her, if for some reason, if you happen to be watching my YouTube morning live show, black out your arm. Nothing is going to save that tattoo other than blacking it out. And I would go from your shoulder all the way down to your elbow, underneath, just black it out. You gotta. That's just the way it is. And she was complaining that it was that it hurt. And I'm like, do you not know that tattoos hurt? And she's like, yeah, I've had other tattoos and they haven't hurt this bad. And I'm like, well, that's because it's a big tattoo, Mary. It's gonna hurt. And she accused the artist of being really rough because they were fighting over the design. And I'm like, maybe she was fighting with you over the design because it was a bad design. And if you are a customer, if you want a tattoo and you go into the shop and you show the artist what you want and that artist tells you no, you need to not take it personal and you need to listen to your artist. There's nothing wrong with saying like, oh, really, why? And then listen to them, but don't argue with them. Don't go in there and be like, no, you're wrong. You can do it. And part of me really thinks that that's what happened. I think that the artist was like, this isn't good. We probably shouldn't do this way. And she was like, no, you will do it this way. So the artist was like, all right, well, you told me to do it. And she had all the waivers and everything. But again, it is our responsibility as the person in the chair to listen to the person that we have just hired to tattoo our skin for the rest of our life. But yeah, the only way out of this, the only way that Mary is going to ever have any decent tattoos is if she gets a blackout tattoo, which I think is sexy. And she's going to have to be committed. I've heard they really hurt. But I didn't tell you to get that Picasso tattoo in the first place, so that's not my responsibility. So that was tattoo court. And my ruling is that it's the lady's responsibility. It's the lady who got the tattoo. I think she was being hard-headed. I don't think she listened to the artist. And I think that regardless as it is, she probably would have wanted something at another time anyway. So my verdict, I agree with the judges on the tribunal justice. It is the lady's fault. However, if you are an artist and you don't speak up, I think at that point you are liable. I think as an artist, you have a responsibility to tell your client that it's not going to work out. And also, too, Mary had a little mess. Absolutely. Mary is one of those little sheeps, and she needs to go hang out with Little Bo Peep and get some better advice. But if you're an artist, and my personal opinion, I'm not a tattoo artist, but my personal opinion is that if you are a tattoo artist and somebody comes to you with that kind of design that is just beepious, at one point you need to be like, I'm just not going to do the tattoo, because that's your representation. Because I'm telling you right now, if I was sitting there and I was thinking about going to this lady and I saw this episode of Tribunal Justice, I wouldn't go to her. I wouldn't go to her because she did it. I wouldn't go to her because she didn't. I don't think that she had enough respect for her own work to pass on this really bad tattoo. The responsibility of the client, but I think it just shows unprofessionalism of the tattoo artist. My verdict is in. Indy 100% agrees with me, and that's all we're going to say about that. Now, I did a post on all my platforms, and it was one that I had done in the past. It was a reposting, and I'm like, you're never too old for tattoos. And I've gotten a lot of negativity about that. And I'm going to read to you a comment, because if you're out there, just remember, not only is this person in a kennel, But this person is under the idea that they get to tell a woman what to do with her body. And yes, you guessed it, it's a guy. And he says, human billboards, I'm fine with tattoos, but full arms and legs are ridiculous. I'm just like, whatever, dude. You know what? I didn't ask your opinion. I don't care. And Rob, if you really think like I am going to sit there and decide whether or not I'm going to get a tattoo based on whether or not you approve of it or not, is another story. But here's the thing, it's really easy for me to pick on guys because a lot of the guys do say something like that. But it's not just men. It's not just men that have this way of thinking. Because if you were here yesterday, you know that I got a comment where somebody told me that neck tattoos, I'm basically going to be undateable if I get one because men don't like neck tattoos. And it's not only men think that way, but women think that way also. So I'm not going to pick just on men, but I am not. Crack the knuckles, absolutely. Grab the baseball bat. But I'm not going to pick just on men because there's women out there that think the same way. There are women out there who really, really think that it is up to a man to tell us what to do. And I, again, am here to say, no, that is not the way it is. I mean, yes. And I just absolutely, it's not that we have to have a mutual understanding in a relationship. I like to be feminine. I like to be a girly girl. I think I'm a girly girl in a very independent sort of way. But that doesn't mean that I don't want a man. I want a bear, not a hamster. But I need that bear to appreciate me for my form of being feminine. I don't need a man to tell me that what I do is right or wrong. It's just not the way it is. Now, another comment I got, because I got a lot of them. There's more than one. Okay, this guy, Steven. Now we went from Rob and we're going to Steven. And Steven says, all of that looks horrible at any age. Why would you destroy God's perfect canvas? So why would you destroy God's perfect canvas, SMH, which is shake my head. Steven's shaking his head. On a lighter note, I guess it does hide the wrinkles. Well, Steven, I'm not going to get into the whole religious aspect of this, but we can take that thought and we can be like, well, why did your wife pierce her ears? Or why does your wife wear makeup? Or why do you shave? Why do you cut your hair? It is taking something and making it a weapon, all right? You can take anything that you want and you can move the words around and you can have your version of it and make it something to where you can attack others. I did not respond because I am not out here to change people. I'm just out here to encourage people. Now, after Steven posted that, good old Nardog, which you can already imagine what kind of guy this is like, he's like, so true. They will say they're expressing themselves. Well, so am I. They're gross. And I'm like, you know what, Robin, Steven? Here's the thing, is that you are just falling into the stereotype of the caveman ruling over the woman and telling her what to do. I am not going to ever tell anybody that they're right or wrong in any relationship because it's not my place. If that is the relationship that you want with your significant other, then that is you. That's on you. I never pick up the phone and leave comments telling you that your relationship is wrong. However, if I choose to live my life in the form and the fashion that I do, buzzed hair, my style, my tattoos, and that's how I want to live my life with or without a partner, it's my choice. I chose to get out of the kennel. I chose to have the freedom. I chose to live my life exactly every moment of the day to my truest self. And it makes me happy. That's the end of the sentence. That's where we put the period. There's no comma. There's no question mark. There's no like, what do you think, Rob and Steven? And it irritates them. It upsets them that they don't have any power over me to put me back in the kennel. So since they don't have that power, the next thing they do is they're like, well, we're just going to say mean things because you know what? As history has shown, when I disapprove of something because I'm a man, that's going to ruin her day. Well, it doesn't. All right? It bounces off of me. And we need to have that kind of armor. We need to have that kind of shield. And I'm going to tell you right now, this weekend, I watched one of the Twilight movies. Yes, I watched Twilight. And to me, it is as close to a rom-com as I can get. And I saw the very last one, you know, where Bella had the baby and they're fighting the bad vampires. And they have all the werewolves. And they find out what Bella's power is. And she has the shield. And she can, in her mind, protect those that she loves and that she chooses from the bad things that the other vampires are doing. We need to be like Bella. We need to have that shield. We need to put up that like where these words and this negativity doesn't get to us. And we all have that ability. We all can shield ourselves from negativity with practice. Because just like the movie, Bella had to practice her power. And we need to do the same thing. And if you're out there and you're like, yes, there's a form of me that's coming out, I got to tell you right now, you have to let it out, but you have to protect who you are. Because when you are being like, you know what, whatever age, let's just say you're 35 and you're like, okay, I'm 35. This is how I want to look. This is who I want to be. This is how I want to represent myself. I'm going to start doing that. Well, you need to grow in that new you. You need to grow in that new idea that this is who you are. And as you're growing, your little shield is going to get stronger. So just know in the very beginning, if words hurt, they're not going to hurt forever. Or if somebody says something rude and it bothers you, it ain't going to last for long because you're going to become more and more comfortable. You're going to become more and more stronger. And eventually you're going to be a badass vampire that can protect itself and the people you love. That's all she has to say about that. There you go. So that was our court. That was our looking at tattoos. We had a little self-exploration. Lonni, you just say kind of things, and we are blessed for walking the earth at the same time with you. Well, thank you, Courtney. You know what? And again, it's so, I got to tell you, in all honesty and all transparency, I never in a million years thought that I was the type of person who would be able to share their story and help others. I just, it's something that has just happened, and it is just something that develops. And it's something that I'm just allowing to happen. I mean, it's such a two-way street. I mean, this is where you, this is just, Kathy, I love you. And I am not going to forget my earring. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to show it to you. But it is just something, and in watching me do my journey, I hope it helps you on your own. Because if I can still develop, and if I can still find strength, and if I can still find who I am, so can you. And that's what just kind of pisses me off sometimes. It's like if I were to come on here and I would be negative, or if I were talking about people, or if I was showing unhappy things, I think my channel would be bigger. And it is so weird how where the negativity is where people are comfortable, and I am where I'm like, let's just question that. Let's just question that way of thinking a little bit. And to me, it's just with time, this message will grow. Let's just put it that way. Kathy says, what doesn't kill you, what make you stronger? No kidding. You know what? I am really surprised I'm still here. Kelly says, damn it, just got home and I missed it. I'll watch in full now. Hey, everyone. Hope you're doing great. Hello, Kelly. You know what? It was really fun. We went to tattoo court. I sang a little bit. I had a couple of rants. Let's see here. What doesn't kill you makes you smaller. Mario and Luigi. Love it. And we're going to have some fun. Now, I am going to buzz my hair tomorrow. I am going to keep it this short. I really like this short. Courtney, did you get your purple? And you know what? I know your hair, you had it the way you wanted to, but you look so stinking beautiful with a buzz cut shaved head. Just rock it. You got it, girl. And so we're going to buzz tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about some new skincare, some new makeup. You know what? We might talk a little bit about just like what age does to your skin and how you can kind of like reverse it a little bit. I don't know. It's going to be kind of up in the air. Not really up in the air. I have an idea what it is. So we're going to do that. I have been going live on Amazon in the mornings showing my the cool things that I've been finding on the Amazon shop, and I am going to be sharing some of it over here. So maybe tomorrow I'll show you some cool like skin products off of Amazon. So maybe we'll do that, but not yet. I will, but I got to let my stitches and sutures out heal. You know what? I was kind of wondering about that, but when you do, I've done that purple and it's a brighter purple than what I'm wearing. So depending on whatever purple you want, this is the purple for brown hair. The purple you got is going to be a little bit more vibrant, or the one that you were looking at. So that's it. That's it, you folks. I have to go out. I have to do my filming. I'm going to go take care of Indy. She's sitting there drooling, so I know that she has an upset tummy. So I'm going to figure out what's going on with her. And I love you all dearly. Remember, until tomorrow, be bright, be bold, be brave. We will have just as much fun tomorrow. I will be doing just as many rants tomorrow. And I'll tell you all sorts of adventures that I have had going on today. And until tomorrow, I love you.